Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another guest and his name is Guy Detorrice, or Gaetano Detorrice, sorry. So
Fine.
Guy's going to share his escape from the tower story. He's got lots of things that he wants to talk about. So without further ado, I'll introduce Guy. Welcome, Guy. How are you going?
I'm fine. Everything's great. Thank you. How about you?
Yeah, no worries.
You
Oh,
all right?
look, yeah, it's early morning here in Australia, but it's been raining. It's a very miserable day, but
Do you
I
do
can't,
you
I
live at
can't complain
Queen?
really.
Do you live at Queensland? Is that where you live? Queensland?
Yes,
That's where
yes,
you're located. Yeah, right near the
yeah.
water. Brisbane. Yeah.
Brisbane. So in the middle of, so I'm in the middle of the Gold Coast, which is south, and the
Okay.
Sunshine Coast, which is north. So yeah, so it's a nice spot, not too far from the beach.
Right. Because Australia is split up. You have like what North Australia and
It's split
South
up.
or something.
Yeah, it's split up into states. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think
state.
there's
Okay. Yeah.
five states, 5 or 6 states. But
Okay.
yeah, we do get. I can't complain about the weather, and we do need the rain because everything's been so dry. So, and where are you based again, Guy?
Well, I'm originally from Jersey and I live in Pennsylvania.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, so you'll have heard about the two ex-Jehovah's Witness elders that have just been or coming to sentence now from the grand jury.
From Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Yeah, is
yeah.
it near Phil? Is that near Philadelphia? Is that where this happened?
I think it might
I don't know.
be. Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. I think it might be. But anyway, uh, they deserve what they're going to get, for, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so
Yes.
obviously you're an ex Jehovah's Witness. So tell us a little
Yep.
bit about your beginnings and growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. Thanks.
Okay. Well, my mother started this. They had this Italian sister come by. She spoke Italian. Mother's from Italy, and she kept on saying no originally. Um, Probably after the fifth time, this sister stuck her foot in the door, and she said, "If you don't study with your kids, you're gonna die." So this is back, I believe, 1973, definitely 74, but I think it started in, I'm pretty sure, 73. Um, so then we started studying. My mother, she set it all up where I had a Bible study teacher and he would come over and that's how it started. So do you want me to start with my studies? Want me to start with that? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
Thanks.
my first book was a great teacher book. It was a pink book. And that was my first uh, book I studied. And he seemed like a good guy, and he is. You know, I can't say anything bad about him. He's a good guy, but I think he had some issues with drugs because he used to tell me he used to play baseball in college, and he used to take speed, snort it in his nose, and he would come over studying with me, and he would come over sweating all the time. I couldn't understand why. I was 13 years old, and I couldn't understand why. And one time he was sweating and he started to bleed out of his nose. I said, out of the blue. But later, years later, I figured out, I said, oh, he probably still was doing drugs. And so I don't know how long I studied with him. Oh, it was about maybe a year I studied with him. And then, boy, I don't even know what happened. Okay. Then I would have my friends come over and they would study with me. And we go over after we're done, we would go over to the Catholic Church at the directory and we start yelling at the priest and calling him pagan and everything. And the janitor was yelling at us and everything. And then we were being wise guys. So we were doing that. Um, then we were being chased. I forgot I didn't tell you about this. The janitor didn't have a pinky, right? And his last name was Winklebarrel. Did you get that? Right. So we used to yell at him. His
Oh
name
my
was John
goodness.
Winkle. Wait a minute. We
Yeah.
used to say to him, "Hey, Winky, where's your pinky?" We used to say, and he would chase us. He would chase us out of the directory, where the priests were, and chase us into the woods with the truck and everything. We were so bad. So then they would go to the Kingdom Hall with me, my friends, and it was Verona, New Jersey. That's where I went. Don't be surprised if somebody's going to say that, "Oh, I know you," because that happened last time when I was doing an interview, and they said, "Oh, are you this person?" And they were in the same congregation I was in.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So we used to one time we went. It was my friend Roger, and we were sitting in the back, and we used to race to get to the scriptures. So they would say the scripture, and we would say who would get there first, And we were making so much noise with the pages and everything. They stopped the meeting, and they said the brother would say, "Would people in the back please be quiet?" And that was us. We
Oh
were just bad.
no.
We were bad, and I didn't, I
You
didn't
you were
care.
bad. You were a bad guy. So
Yeah,
and how old were you when you were getting told off in the Kingdom Hall?
13, 14. But
Oh, they should
but
have
you
they
know
should
something?
have let you off. Yeah, go on.
No, I had a critical I had a critical mind back then because I used to ask them, why can't I use my Bible? Why do I have to use this green Bible? They had the green Bible first. It was a green Bible. I wish I had that back.
Yeah.
But it was, and I asked them, how can I possibly tell anybody what's in this Bible when this Bible says it says different? You're looking up the scriptures and it says something completely different, or the word is different. I said, how could I do that? It's impossible. And so I would
Yeah.
question. It says, well, which Bible is right? They said, well, just use the green Bible and that's it. That's all right, and that's what I did. But I always questioned it all the time. I said, "What is it? I don't understand this." I don't. It says this is different, and you just told me that all the Bibles are the same, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I would question it. I would question it way back then. But I always struggled with it. I really didn't want to do it, but I was forced to do it. My
Right.
father would force me. I was forced to go to Kingdom Hall. I didn't want to do this. So I
Right.
never did. But I attempted so many times. I had so many Bible studies. I can't even count. This is going for 50 years now. I can't count how many times.
But the
And then
thing,
I go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry.
No,
No,
I
I
said
was
then
just
I
going to
got.
say, yeah, I was just
Hmm?
going to say that just listening to you studying, all of these times over all of these years, but you already said right back at the beginning when you were a young person that you'd already started to critically think. So you were
Yeah,
always that was unlocked. So that's what
yeah,
you would have always been fighting against as you were growing up and
yes.
having repeated Bible studies. I mean, it must have been torture for you.
I hated it. I had studying. First of all, I hate to study to begin with. So studying like Watchtower and underline, I hated that with a passion. Um, but I would just underline anything. And I would just leave it. I never answered anything. I didn't care. so so then I got married. But I was always before I got married, I was always invited. They always invited me over to the house for a picnic or something like that, and everybody was nice. I don't have any complaints with the witnesses themselves. Everybody was nice, always nice. Um, at that time, um, and that was in New Jersey. I was in Verona. They sold that congregation for $600,000. By the way,
What,
where I was at.
recently? Recently?
A few years back. I don't know how, not recently, but a few years back because I checked. And you know how the Kingdom Hall used to look like? It was a watchtower, and then they changed it. It
Yeah.
was a watch. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Mm.
And then and now everybody has to go to Montclair. So that now it's the Montclair congregation. So everybody went to Verona is in Montclair now, I believe. I'm pretty sure
Right.
I'm right.
Okay.
So then I got married. Then I said, well, let me start. I wanted to start studying. My daughters were born, and I started studying it with the same Bible study teacher. And this time when I was studying, my wife, after we're done the meeting, my wife would beat the crap out of me and kick me till I'm out of the door every time I studied. Yeah. Yeah. So then I had that. She didn't want me to study, nothing.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so I stopped again. And but my sister and everybody in my family are witnesses for years. My sister was in Bethel with her husband, which they're divorced. They're divorced now, but they were in Bethel in the '80s, in the 1980s. And I remember going visiting at the old not Warwick in Brooklyn, and I
Yeah.
would go visit there. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
and and that
So
was
you
boring. I hated it.
look, I'm hearing you. When we were in America, New York in 2019. I mean, obviously we were still in, but we took the
Yeah,
ferry across, past the Statue of Liberty, and
yeah.
we
Staten. Were
saw,
you in Staten Island? Did you take the ferry from
yeah,
Staten Island? Yeah,
yeah, but we could see quite clearly where the old Watchtower
right,
Bethel was. So
right.
that would have been the one that you visited. But
Yes,
I tell you what, I don't know if you've ever been to the headquarters now that they have in Warwick. It's luxurious. They must have spent millions and millions of dollars on it
it
now.
did, but I don't think it looks nice. I think the
No,
design in the front is not. I looked at it. I looked. I don't think it's nice looking. The front, how they designed it. I think they should have made a better design. I felt they
yeah.
should have.
Well, I mean, now we're out. Well, it goes along with their religion, doesn't it? A pretty ugly building that mirrors a pretty ugly religion when you look at it. So, uh,
Yeah.
like that. I mean, I was in awe of it when I first walked in. I just couldn't believe all the technology, all of these touch screens like they have in Hollywood, to get your information, and you slide it across and everything appears on these big, vertical screens, and just
Yeah.
something out of a new age, like from another planet. So
Well, yeah, they make a lot of money from their rank and file.
they
Part of it.
sure do. Well,
Part of
but
it.
it's open to the public as well. So
Yeah.
hopefully they're hoping that they'll get converts from the members of the public, that the foot traffic that goes through there. But yeah, very
I
very
forgot.
interesting. Yeah, so tell us about your so you got married, your
Oh wait,
wife.
I wanted to say something before I got married. I forgot.
Yeah, go
I'm sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. No, go
Well,
ahead.
that Bible study teacher told me, like, I wanted to play baseball, which I never stopped. But I wanted to play, and he says you can't play baseball. You can't put posters of sports athletes up on your in your room. You couldn't be. I wanted to be a police officer too. He says you couldn't do that, and it discouraged me so much. And I didn't want to do anything anyway. I said, "Oh, what's the use?" I said, "I can't do anything." But it didn't stop me from playing baseball. And my mother was really nice about this. I always was able to keep my friends from school. She never stopped me, and they always came over, and that was never ever an issue. So that was
Wow.
good that my mom did that. She never stopped me.
You, your mum seems like she was a very loving, level-headed lady
Yeah,
that yeah, wanted the best for you.
my brothers were disfellowshipped, and that
Ah,
didn't prevent. At one time, they're back. They're reinstated a long time ago. My mother would not stop. My sisters would get mad at her. My mother's would not stop. She still talked to them no matter what. She goes, "I'm not going
isn't
to
that
stop talking."
lovely? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not going to
yeah.
stop. Yeah.
So
Or
it's
when they
so
change.
yeah. Go on. When they change
Well,
what?
when they
Sorry. Go on.
oh no, when they change the time going to the Kingdom Hall, you know how they change that? My mother goes, "I'm not going in the afternoon. I'm going to stay in the morning." she, she's like, "I'm not going to go in the afternoon." Okay.
No. Wow. And so, may I ask, is your mum still alive?
No, she died. I would say a year and a half ago. She was 91.
Oh, wow. She sounds like she was a lovely lady. What was her name?
She was Mrs. Narcissist. That's what she was. Her name, her
Oh
name,
dear.
my father used to tell her the reason why. Now she used to dress really nice. She get her clothes at a boutique and everything. So my father used to say to her, "You only go to the Kingdom Hall because people pay attention to you and they tell you how much you look, how nice you look." And that's what she. And I used to tell her, "Hey Ma, you became a Jehovah's Witness because you didn't have to spend money on the holidays." And she would go, "That's right."
At least she was
Yeah,
being honest.
yeah. She said, "Yeah, you don't have to spend any
All
money. That's
right.
why."
Okay. So she had certain undesirable traits, but hey, she balanced it out. She never stopped you or held you back from
No,
having who you wanted as friend. So I suppose that's one consolation. So
yeah.
you got married and
Mhm.
you had two girls.
Yep.
Um,
I had three daughters, but two from this marriage.
right. Okay. So are they still in the organization or are they not in the
No,
organization?
this is what I did. I had so much headaches and problems studying, doing this, and the aggravation I went through. I didn't teach them anything about God. No religion, no nothing. Do you know to this day they thank me? Because they
Oh,
know they said, "Thanks, Dad, for not doing this." I said, "Well,
mm,
I didn't want you to go through what I went through. So I
no.
wasn't gonna let it happen."
Can you imagine, having your daughters, leave the organization and then experience what we've all experienced in the shunning and the rejection?
Yeah.
It's hard to take, isn't it? Even as
It
grown
is.
adults.
Well, it is, but here's the key. And when I left, and to I'll bring it up after. But when I left, you have to have a life before Watchtower, and I did. I had friend. I have still my life didn't change one bit when I left. Zero. It was like another day. So I had my
Right.
friend. I had my life. I already had a life. It doesn't matter to me if I left and they don't talk to me. Who cares? I didn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me one bit. It didn't bother me one bit. Now the best
Mm.
part is my family. My family don't talk to me, which is great because there's less toxic in my life. That was I always used to tell people. I used to tell people this. I became a Jehovah's Witness to get this fellowship on purpose, so my family don't talk to me anymore. That's what I used to say.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
a
that,
that's
that, that was a joke. That was a joke.
okay. Now you sounded really serious, but hey, it's not a
Yeah.
bad idea. It's not a bad idea for anybody who's listening and wants
But my
to
wife,
employ that tactic. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
my wife, no, my wife would say, "That's not funny," because I would tell her that joke. She goes, "That's not funny."
Right. No. Well, so your wife, the lady that you had your
Hmm.
daughters to, she
She was
she
never
was
nothing. She was nothing. No,
right. Okay.
no religion, no nothing. She was a Methodist.
All
I
right,
got
but
married.
not a practicing one.
No, no, she didn't believe the Jehovah's Witness thing at all.
Right. Okay. So obviously, you guys. I mean, obviously, you're not together because you married Kim. So, do you mind me asking what happened? Do you have
uh,
something to?
when I was younger, I was really good looking. I'm not ugly now. I'm ugly now. But when I and I had a lot of girlfriends, and that's what did it.
Oh, so you were a bit of a player.
Yeah, I was bad of dating. Like I felt so sorry for her later on when I grew up and was not immature anymore. When I grew up and realized what I have done through the years, I go, man, why did I do that to her?
Yeah.
And hurt her. I felt really bad, and that's what happened. I had girlfriends. They would
Right.
come knocking on the door at my house. They would come knocking on my door at my house. My wife would, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
then and then like there was one time I got this girl. I don't mind telling. I don't care. One time I got this girl Max. I broke up with her and everything. But when the time we were in the motel, I won't make it dirty. Don't worry. She took a picture of me, right, and sent it to my wife. And she goes, "What's in the envelope?" I go, "That's not me." I ripped it up and threw it.
Oh no.
I felt so
Yeah.
sorry. I felt so sorry. I look back. I go, "What the hell did I do?" It was horrible,
Yeah.
horrible.
Well, you know, when we get older, I don't know about you, Guy, but I think about who I am now, and I'm actually the person that I needed to be when I was younger. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
time teaches us many things, and
yeah.
you know, as long as you know you feel bad about it. I mean, there's
But
lots of
you
people
hope,
that don't.
but you hope you learn from it. You know,
Yeah,
some people
they
don't.
never learn.
No, but I always was a good father, but not a good, not definitely not a good husband, without a doubt. And I told my wife now, I said, there is no way you would have liked me or anything or gonna, want to go out with me. There's no way. I
Yeah.
was so, I was bad. Like
Mm.
it
A
was,
little, a little bit self-absorbed and preoccupied with
yeah,
the macho person. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I keep on thinking back, what the hell? I said, what am I thinking about? You know,
Yeah.
just, I said, I'm surprised my wife didn't like kill me or something. You know what I mean? When I was sleeping, I was shocked. Like nothing
Yeah.
happened to me because of that. I
Yeah.
felt so bad. But when she was in her dying bed. I was in the room with her, and I did tell her I love her, and I'm so sorry what I did to you. She did forgive me a long time ago, and she did get remarried. You know,
Right.
but I did tell her I'm sorry. I hope she heard me. She was in a coma, so I
Okay.
hope
Well,
she heard
what was your wife's name? You know, what was
me.
her
Jill,
name? Jill.
Jill,
Okay.
Jill. Her last
So
name was.
yeah, go on.
Want to know her last name?
Mm.
Lovely.
Oh, oh. Well, hopefully, you know, she's able to rest now.
Yeah.
But so I don't want to sound, you know, forward, but so who
Okay.
was Linda? So who was Linda?
Oh, okay. Linda, I met Linda. I'll tell you exactly how. Excuse me. I met Linda. I lived in a town. It was called Plains, Pennsylvania. So I went, and the supermarket was across the street. So I went. This is 2009. Um, oh, wait a minute. Let me tell you a story before this one. I was married again after. Her name was Dawn. I call her Dawn of the Dead. Dawn, I should have done it. I should have never married this woman. It was like a horror. And I would like I would didn't want to come home. I was married to her, and I took in her two kids, one's boy and a daughter. Uh I don't know why I did this, or the kids were okay, that's fine. But her is like, oh, I can't even explain it. And I used to cry in my truck. I go, this girl, when is she gonna leave? I said, she'll never leave me. I said, she's never gonna leave me. Until one day she met somebody online, and everything, and she said she was gonna leave. I said, oh, really? I said, well, I'll help you. I said, I'll help you pack. She goes, you're not gonna fight for me? I said, no, I care about you. I want you to be happy. That's what he used to say.
Oh no.
So I so I helped her pack, and it was great. And then she moved, and she lives in Georgia now. It's another state.
So how long
But
were
I
you
should.
married to her for? How long were you married
Uh,
for?
oh my God, okay. Together in marriage, maybe 1 year, but we got divorced in 2013. It was final. She called me up one day, says, "Guy, I got divorce papers for like 200 and something dollars or something." She goes, I'll pay for it. I said, no, I'll give you half. So I wrote out a check and I sent it to her. You
Right.
know,
Okay.
we
Clear
would be
away.
like, yeah, we would be friends now. If I saw her, we're again, like, oh, we would be friends. It's no big
Yeah.
deal.
Oh, well,
But I
that's
shouldn't
nice
have.
if you can remain. Yeah, if you can remain amicable. But
It's
yeah,
horrible
sounds
though.
like yeah. Oh, that's sad. So
I'm
then
stupid.
no, go on.
I'm very, I'm very stupid. I'm not smart.
Right. No, no, correction. You were very
Yeah.
stupid, but no, but you're not
Yes.
now. And
No.
no, and we can all, you haven't got the monopoly on that. We've all been stupid. You
Yeah.
know, so you don't have first dibs on that in any way, shape, or form. But
Let's
so,
do Linda.
pardon?
You want to do Linda now? We'll see.
Yeah, we can talk
Linda.
about Linda. So you met
That's
Linda, yeah.
yeah. If you want. You want me to tell you the story? It's a good story.
Yeah, I think it's part of your life, isn't it, Guy? So
Okay. Yeah. It's good and it's sad. So here we go. So after
okay,
Dawn left, Dawn actually knew Linda, and Dawn told me, "Don't go out with her. Don't do it." She told me not when she was leaving. She told me, "Don't go out with her," but I did, and she had a lot of problems. I mean, she was on a lot of medication, and she was a nurse. But I met her. I was at the supermarket, and I asked for. I went to the deli, and I asked for a pound of ham, thinly sliced. And she walked up to me and she says, "Why do you like it thinly sliced?" Because I said, "Because it tastes better." I said, and it's like I don't like to put a lot of meat on the sandwich, you know. So if I use my hands a lot, it's because I'm Italian. Okay. All
we
right.
gathered that. We gathered that.
So so she gave me her. She was following me around the store, and she gave me her phone number, and then I was debating on calling her, and I did call her, and then we started dating. And then eventually she moved in with me where I was living. I was by myself, and but she was still married. And
Okay.
get the, it's but we went out to dinner, okay, one day, and we were just talking in general, and she was talking about her husband. I said, "This is great. Wait to hear this." She goes, "I gotta remember. I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember. We'll say, oh, Lou. His name's Louis." So we were sitting down eating, and she goes, "Yeah, my husband works for FedEx and he's a manager and everything." It goes, she was describing it. I go, "Is his name Lou?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "I'm friends with him." And I was friends with him. I said,
Oh
"Oh,
dear.
crap." I said, "I know him." I said, "I was friends with your husband." She goes, "You're kidding me." I said, "No." But they were going to get divorced anyway, and they finally did. But she excuse me. So we lived together, and then we moved to another place in Pennsylvania. I actually left a couple times because she was driving me. She was scaring me. She was driving me crazy. I mean, nuts. I couldn't handle it anymore. People at work were trying to help me. Says, "Guy, you have to leave her." But I felt so bad for her because she was sick, and I said, "I can't." I said, "I can't leave her. It's just something's wrong with her. I have to help her." So I felt like I had to help her. So she got gastric bypass surgery. This is after about the sixth year we were together, and one and she was like losing weight, but I didn't ask her to do it. She wanted to do it. I said, "You can do what you want." And the doctors, you have to do like a mental test before you do something like this, and she passed, and I
Mm,
was like shocked. I go, "You kidding me?"
mm,
I said, "You really passed?" And she says, "Yeah." She
yeah.
goes, I know how to finagle." She says. I said, "Okay."
Um,
So she did it, and I say within a year's time, she's telling me, "I'm gonna die. I'm going to die." I said, "No." I said, "Go to the doctors. Go to the doctors." And she was acting weird, but she always acted weird. So
okay.
one night it was May 15th. It was no, it was May 1st, 2015. Um, I woke up out of bed, ready to go to work, and I kissed her. She was laying on her stomach, and I kissed her in the back of the head. I said, "Bye, Linda. I love you." She goes, "I love you too." So I went to work, and I tried calling all day. She didn't answer. She didn't. I said, "Something's wrong. I know something's wrong." So by the time I got home, 6 o'clock, I peeked in the bedroom door, and she was in the same position that I had left her, and I touched her, and she was dead, and she died, and then she was stiff. And then I had to call 911. I called my neighbors to come over. And I said, please help me. And then the cops came and everything, and they checked to see
Wow.
if any funny. They checked to see if any funny business, and they said no, everything's fine. And um, they go, you want to stay in the other room so we can put her? I said, I'm fine, just And I went back in the room again before they left with her, and I said, Lynn, and they had her on on her back, and her hands. It was like horrible. Her hands was way up in the air, stiff, and her eyes were open. It was so scary. It was, and I gave her a kiss, and I told her, Linda, I'm sorry, I love you, and that's it. I shut the bedroom door, and I slept on the recliner for a year. I could not go in that bedroom. Then I said,
Wow.
well, let me start. Then I said, let me start studying again. So I started studying again, and I studied to a point where I got baptized. And before I got baptized, the uh, one of the elders that used to know me from another congregation, he asked me, "Are you okay with the Michael the Archangel incident?" I said, yeah, I am, which I wasn't, and I still, like I told you, I'm still not. Uh, so I got baptized, and within, like, I would say less than a year, uh, I had questions left and right. I go, something's wrong. And so when that watchtower that came out says, uh, you have to listen to the governing body, even if it doesn't make sense to a human standpoint, something to that nature. And I said, what are you, nuts? I said, I'm not doing that. No. And that's when I started, like, leaving. I told my wife about it, and bottom line, she stayed with me. She says, I won't leave you. So
Yeah.
that was it. She was crying, upset. I said, Kim, I said, I'll pretend. I'll go to Kingdom Hall. I'll just pretend. That's all. And she
Oh,
goes,
yeah.
no, no.
No.
She goes, no. I want you to be honest with yourself. And that was it. I go, and and I said, oh, that's why you're upset and crying. I said, I didn't know. I thought because I was really actually leaving. She goes, no, 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 because I wanted
Right.
you to be honest. So that was
Yeah.
it.
Oh, look.
Um,
Sounds like you have a beautiful lady there now
she's great.
that you're with, and you can share your life with. But just listening to you from start to finish, what a roller coaster of a life in and out of the organization. And yet, despite
Yeah,
all that time, right the way back when you were a young lad, you know,
hmm
growing up and studying, you always knew deep down that you didn't agree with it, and yet at different
no,
junctures of your life, it was the organization was still hanging around you, and it drew you back for different reasons,
I
even though
always,
you knew that it wasn't
yeah,
right. I mean, I find that staggering, to be honest.
but I always thought, well, partly yes, but I always thought, well, I didn't believe any other religion. Because if there was going to be I always thought if there was going to be a religion that's going to be true, it's going to be the Jehovah's Witnesses, not other religions. I did think that. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
then, but finally, after doing my research and everything, I go, okay. I said, no, no way, no way. So
Mm. So
that's.
so okay, so that's good. You started doing your research. You did your research. So
Mhm.
what was the defining moment, your eureka moment? Aha, I'm out of here. What started
Mm,
making you think? Or was it several things?
well, that one watchtower
Right.
that said that um, there was another that definitely was it. I don't know, just that's I have no idea other than that with that watchtower that I read. I thought that was really strange because I gave my wife a scenario. I said, okay, okay. I said we were supposed to listen to him, even if it doesn't make sense to a human standpoint. Okay, okay. Let me give you a scenario. I told her. Let's say if we go out at a meeting and the governing body said they had an announcement, and they said the the elders had an announcement from the governing body stating that we are to take this poison in the Kool-Aid because the Jehovah doesn't want you to go through the Great Tribulation. I said, would you take it? She goes, no. I said, thank God. I said, it doesn't make sense, right? She goes, yeah. It doesn't make sense to a human standpoint to do that, right? She goes, yeah. I said, exactly. That's why I left. That's why I left, for that reason. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Okay.
Does that make
Oh,
sense
look.
to you?
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense, but because you and I know, as both ex-witnesses and fully out of it, that statement that the governing body made, it wasn't that long ago, where they said, from a human standpoint, whatever we tell you might seem a bit odd, but then they made the point that you're actually obeying Jehovah by listening to us. And
Right.
we know that this is, see, in a sneaky way, the governing body, as far as I'm concerned now, I'm not laying this on you or anybody else, but from my perspective, they're ahead of their time, in very, very sneaky in what they're planning for this
Oh, yeah.
organization. And
Absolutely.
somebody said to me, well, actually, a couple of people have said to me, it's very, very dissimilar to, it's not dissimilar, sorry, to Jonestown. And I
Yeah.
honestly believe that, Guy. I do believe that something.
Yeah.
I reckon something tragic is going to happen, to be honest.
Did you ever watch the documentary on that? You'll see how much similar it is. It's so similar.
No,
Watch
but
the
I did watch.
documentary.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. Maybe it was to do with the same documentary. I don't know, but I did watch something to do with the Jonestown movement on
Yeah.
YouTube, and I found it highly disturbing. The indoctrination of those people is almost identical to the way
Yes.
that Jehovah's Witnesses are indoctrinated by their leaders. And,
Yep.
I, for one, I'm just, the shunning, although it's horrible, it's worth the freedom. It's worth the freedom, Guy,
Yeah.
because how could anybody ever go back to rolling in the mire? Seriously, because that's what you'd
Yes.
be doing if you were going back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would have no respect for the people. I'll tell you this after, but how could you, like, they don't talk to you and everything? So I would think they'd be phony. So you're
Yeah.
phony. I'm going to go back and I'm going to be friends with you now. Yeah, get out of here. I'm not going to do that. I won't talk to anybody. I'll just
Yeah.
to go to the meeting and leave. I'm not going to be your friend. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do it.
Well, that's exactly what happens. It's all conditional. If you go back, if somebody goes back and gets reinstated, then the governing body have already told its followers you have permission to speak to that person. They're giving you permission. It's got nothing to do with God. It's got nothing to do with Jesus Christ. It's got nothing to do with the Bible, but everything to do
Right.
with their doctrines and policies.
Yes.
It's evil. And I don't know about you, but I think for many, many people now, I said it on my Be Free protest video, because they reached out to me and said, can you promote us for the thing that's
Yes.
happening in September? Yeah, they reached out to me, which was very nice of them.
Oh, good.
But I said on there, for the ones that wake up and leave, you won't be on your own. You won't be shunned. There'll be heaps of support for all of you, because boy, they're going to need it, Guy. They are going to need it.
I know.
Um,
Especially the ones who were born in, the ones who were born in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
exactly.
and Karen, they're the ones who leave the most. The born-ins. They're the ones who leave the most out of all the witnesses.
Oh, right. Okay. That's interesting.
That's true. I
Oh,
looked it up.
Did you? Oh, you might have to forward me that information.
I have to find. Look at this. Want to see this? See all this?
Oh, they're your notes.
That's all my research for all writing everything.
Wow.
I got stuff like you never believe in there. I have written down.
You should self-publish. You should write that up as a memoir or a book and get it published. I bet it'd sell thousands of copies. But
I have to set it all up. But you want to hear what happened? at the assembly, the regional convention, my wife.
Yeah, go. What, this one that's just taking place now? The
Yeah, ready for
2020?
this?
Yeah, yeah, go
Yeah.
go for it.
I was livid. Wait till you hear this. Um, so the meeting Friday was over. Friday it was over, and it started pouring rain and a little bit of lightning, but it started pouring rain, and they wouldn't let anybody leave. All the brothers were lined up blocking the door. I go, you out of here? I said, you kidding me? I said, and I told my wife, you get out of there now. I told her, I said, get out of there. And then they wouldn't let anybody leave. And then my wife went up and said, listen, my husband's really getting mad and angry. They said, you got to let me leave. I got to go. And they let her go. But you believe they're all standing there blocking the door. You can't leave. What are you out of your mind? They're nuts. I said, they're not going to, I said, Cam, you think they're going to stop me? And she goes, no. I said, exactly. Get out of my way. Get lost. Yeah. It's
Well,
like, yeah.
well, and you see, that's just a very, very good example of the fact that this organisation, they're not balanced, are they? You know, they're just not balanced. And
No.
I had a message from a gentleman who's obviously an ex-elder now, but he was commenting on my previous video on the question, no more preaching door to door, and he said,
Yeah.
Karen, I can tell you right now, they are in deep, not just panic, the organization are in deep panic mode. He said, you want to know why? He said, because the majority of people that are still left in the organization, in the congregations, are elderly or older. He said,
Right.
there's more older ones than there are young ones. And you know, he was saying to me, don't worry, you know, don't be worried about the fact that, you know, you haven't received anything in writing. He said it's going to happen. He said,
Yeah.
and the AGM, he said the AGM that's coming up this year, he said that will be the one to watch, because I actually said that too. He said, yeah, for sure. He said they're in deep,
Okay.
deep panic mode. They are panicking. And I've seen photographs on Facebook that people have taken at the conventions. There was one in Cleveland, Ohio, and you could tell that the convention was in full swing because they had the video, the drama
Yeah.
video that was playing. But Guy, get this, there was hardly anybody there. There was hardly anybody that there were heaps and heaps of empty seats.
I believe you. I have the amount of the assembly attendance of my. I'll tell you. Do you want it? I'll tell you.
Yes, please. Yes,
Now
please.
hold on. I'm looking for it. Oh no! But I remember in my head. You ready? This is
Yep.
this is for
3 days.
this is 3 days. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do the total amount for 3 days. 11,076. That's an average of 3,600. That's it. Remember, it used to be over 5,000 all the time.
5,000. Yeah. I remember if you didn't get to the conventions early doors, you were
Yeah.
standing. You were standing for the whole day. Seriously, you were
Yes.
standing. You were stood with
Yeah.
your back
Yeah. Yeah.
against
Yeah.
the wall. Yeah, you weren't allowed to sit down where the elderly were sitting or the disabled. You had to
Yeah.
stand. And now, well, you could
Nothing.
turn up halfway through the convention and you could still get a seat, you know?
From Yep. From Friday to Sunday, there was only additional 200 people extra from that. That's
Wow.
yeah. So that was like nothing. It was. I
Well,
remember in my head
yeah, thank
that.
you for sharing that. Very, very interesting. And what about the update that Samuel Hurd gave, and how
What did he
he
do?
was raving about how 8,000 were there over the weekend at one convention, and he's like, there were
I don't.
74 baptized. 74? Is that
I don't
it?
believe him. I don't believe him.
You
I
know,
don't believe.
when I got baptized back in the day in
Yeah.
1988 at Leeds United football ground in England, there was 152 of us, half brothers, half sisters, 152 that got baptized. You know,
Well, yeah.
you don't see or hear about those figures. They're never going into the hundreds anymore. And I think any growth, like I've said, I don't believe that there's 8.6 million Jehovah's Witnesses. I do not believe
No.
that at all. In fact, me and my husband were speaking last night, and we reckon, because he said, "Oh, how many PMOs do you think are in the Kingdom Halls?" I said, "Oh, maybe half, half of each congregation." He said there's probably about 20% in each congregation. So if you take 100, if you take 100 people, that's 20, 25 people in each congregation, and there's never ever there's not going to be over 111,000 congregations anymore, because, like you've pointed out, and like everybody's talking about it, like they're selling Kingdom Halls off left, right, and centre, and merging congregations to make them look fuller.
Yeah.
But I mean, how long's that going to last before you see the drop off away from that?
Yeah. Yes. Wait. I'm glad you said that. But my mother used to say, "Oh, we have so many people in our Kingdom Hall now." I said, "Ma, it's because they sold the Kingdom Halls and now they're going to yours." She goes, "Oh." She goes,
Oh, and that she never
yeah.
contested it. She never contested
Yeah,
it.
she says, "Oh."
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, really?" She goes, I said, "Yeah."
The writing, the writing is on the wall for this organization, and I think as well that really what's happening is they're panicking behind the scenes on how to keep it afloat,
Oh yeah.
to stop it from folding. That's what they're doing now. I reckon, these 9 kings that Gary Bro spoke about in his talk, they're not sat around the table talking about how to encourage the brothers and sisters, but they're sat around the table talking about how they're going to pay for their next child sexual abuse lawsuit, or discussions along those lines.
They don't care about the rank and file. I knew a pioneer sister. She went. She had no place to stay. She was visiting New York, and she was a pioneer. She needed a room, and she called Watchtower, and they said they couldn't help her. But you believe that? They couldn't help her.
No, I can believe it, actually, because that's exactly what they would do.
Oh yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And also, I heard, well, I actually saw it online. I think they might have removed it now, but these special conventions that are integrated with the yearly conventions, one of the letters that the elders read out was words to the effect of, you can't go to these special ones if you're disabled, and you can't book your own hotels. You can only go through the hotels that we book. So
Wow.
I mean, what is that about? If you're disabled, you can't go. I thought the organization was all about inclusion and about showing love.
No, it's about making money.
Yeah, it is. You're completely right.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
Oh, look, the more that we unravel and unpack the goings on and the shenanigans with this organization, the more that nobody says anything nice about them anymore. No, nobody's got anything positive to say about this organization.
You're right. And I made my wife promise me this, and she's done it till this day. I said, don't give a dime to Watchtower. And she doesn't. Don't give them anything.
No.
She doesn't.
Maybe because I know that you and Kim, you're able to, have a wonderful marriage and live side by side, even though you're formally out of Jehovah's Witnesses. You don't know, what Kim's thinking. Maybe she's, connecting the dots and keeping some reservations up here about the organization. I know for a lot of people, they won't leave it because they've got family and friend connections, which is very, very sad.
That's what it is. Here, this is what she does to me. You ready? When I talk, she goes like this. Ready? Like, shut my mouth. Boom. And that's it. And I stay quiet. I say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, maybe she knows. Maybe she knows deep down that what you're saying is the truth. So, bringing it up to now, Guy, what's your situation in terms of where you're at spiritually? Where are you at now?
Well, you can forget about religion, because I don't believe in religion.
No, I didn't say religion. I mentioned spirituality.
Okay. Sorry about that. I get
No,
confused.
it's okay.
I'm a believer in Christ, and I believe the Bible is God's word, and that's where I'm at now. And I believe He's
That's
my Lord
lovely.
and Savior, and He's my Lord and Savior, without a doubt.
Amen.
And
Amen.
that's it.
That's amazing to hear, Guy.
Thank
So, oh look, I could listen to you all day. Your story's been very, very interesting. Really, given us all.
you.
I'm sure when
I'm the only one that's bored. I'm joking. I'm joking. Okay.
no, I'm sure you'll give a lot of people food for thought and something to think about. In terms
But
of
I,
as well the critical thinking side of things. Once
yeah,
that starts, the process, you don't close it down, but keep using your critical
right.
thinking to analyze and challenge everything, question everything, and you can
I
save
do.
yourself a
I
lot of
do.
heartache. No, but I'm
I
just
do.
saying, because I'm talking about your experience having critical thinking from a very early age, that really we need to encourage that amongst people that are thinking of joining this cult religion, or people that are thinking of leaving. It's hard. It messes with your mind, but you've got to
Oh yeah.
somehow, if you're a true person to yourself, no matter what you've been taught and what you've been brainwashed into, your critical thinking has to come through every single time in order to push through, make the break, and come
Yes.
out of it. If you don't, you're going
Agreed.
to be locked. You're going to be locked in it
Yeah.
forever, for eternity.
Yeah.
Which is, what's happening with the ones that are still left in now. So I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, talking with
Can
you,
thank
Guy.
you. Can I
Yeah,
say one more
sorry.
thing?
Yeah, sure.
No, I want to say, well, one of the times I have to tell you, people who are disfellowship at the Kingdom Hall, they come, you're not supposed to talk to them. I always said hi all the time. I didn't care if I got in trouble. And when they got reinstated, they went to Kim. They went to Kim and they said, Guy's the only one that said hi to me all the time. Tell him I appreciate that. I said,
Oh,
and I got one more thing. This is great. I was
no,
doing parking at how you do you volunteer for parking at a regional convention. So I
yeah.
was doing it in the morning. I was I was parking people, and one brother was walking by. So I go, hey brother, how you doing? He goes like this. Don't talk to me on this fellowship. I go, so what? And he ran away. That was,
Oh,
I thought that was a riot. I was cracking. I go, look at this. I go,
it,
check out this guy.
but isn't
I
that
couldn't believe.
sad?
Yeah. I go, what do you? I go, well, I go, take it easy. I said,
Yeah,
he goes, no, no, don't talk to me. He runs. He's like a little kid, but he wasn't. He was a man.
yeah. Isn't that terrible? So they're even
Yeah.
brainwashed. They're even brainwashed in a disfellowship state. That's terrible. Wow.
Uh-huh.
So, Guy, I want to
Yes.
ask you, as I do all of my guests,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, this is my Escape from the Tower series where I interview different
Yes.
friends, different guests. And I always finish by asking this question. So, Guy, you escaped from the tower
This is
because
tough.
what?
This reminds me of school. I have nothing to say. Say that one more time. I have to be honest here. So say, well, let
Okay.
me just think.
So, Guy, you escaped from the tower
Mhm.
because
I didn't want to listen to nine knuckleheads in New York, and that's the
I
truth.
love it. Okay,
Hmm.
thank you.
That's the reason why. Because when
That's
I
the
wrote my
reason why you
letter,
left the watchtower. Okay.
yeah, and that's another reason. And my letter of disassociation, I wrote down as many scriptures as I could find of listening to man rather than God. Is it
Excellent.
Jeremiah 17:5. That's the governing body to the T. So if anybody wants to look that
Jeremiah
up,
Jeremiah
17,
17:5. Okay.
that's them to the
Right.
T.
Okay, well, I will have a look at that after this interview and
By,
share my
by the
thoughts.
way, did you see the Tony and thing with the alcohol. Tony Morris going to the liquor store. Did you see that? Wasn't that
I
great?
did.
No,
Not really.
you didn't see it. You didn't see it.
No, I did see it, but I'm saying it's not really great. It's not a good look.
No, no, but it's like shocking. So,
It is. It
well,
is shocking.
we call him Tight Pants Tony.
I know. I've seen that description on YouTube as well. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Guy. Before we end, yeah, that video about him was uploaded, but that's a walk in the park compared to what's coming out about the organisation now.
Yeah.
That's history. He's
Yeah, I
history.
know.
I mean, what's coming out now is way far more serious. But
Yes.
I hope. I really hope that I can get you back on my channel sometime in the future. It's been absolutely amazing talking to you, and I'm sure everybody
I
is
hope
going
your
to benefit.
listeners. I hope your listeners liked it. I hope so.
I'm sure they will. And I'm sure they will. And like I was just saying, I'm sure people are going to benefit from your experience. So thank you so much, Guy. And
wait a minute. Wait, I'm still a bit of a wise guy now. I run up to witnesses that know I'm disfellowship, and I say hi to them, and they run away. I'm not kidding. It's funny. You got it. It's great.
Well, don't change. They're the ones that
I know.
need to be embarrassed. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, but thank you so much, and we will
Okay.
definitely talk again soon, Guy.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.